What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Or welcome to your first time here. If you like videos about prepping, survival, self-reliance, and other related topics, then be sure to subscribe. Turn notifications on, be notified each time that I upload a new video. It's getting very close to planting time, just a few more weeks, and everyone will be planting their gardens. I've already seen a lot of people have their garden spots tilled. So people's definitely getting into the spirit of gardening, and in the near future, it's going to be essential, I think, to survival. So it's extremely important to have, a garden, at least a small backyard garden, to supply some of your fresh produce. I've had a lot of people asking me about these raised beds and how to fill these cheaply. So I decided to make a video, to talk about that. Hopefully you find it interesting and learn something from it. It's not really complicated. And there's other videos here on YouTube about this very topic, but I get a lot of questions, so here I am making this video. I like raised beds because they are, of course, higher off the ground. These are 20 inches high by 8 foot long by 4 foot wide. But having these beds up higher than ground level is easier on my back, because as you get older, gardening becomes more difficult because you have to bend down a lot and you have to weed and plant and harvest, and everything is bent over when you're on that ground level. And this, you're still bent over, however you're not nearly as bent over as you would be if it's planted traditionally into the ground. So I like raised beds for that reason, but it's also easier for me to work, and I can plant more plants in this area, this size of space, than I could if it was at ground level, because I can walk all the way around this bed and weed this and plant this and harvest very easily. When I filled these raised beds, I built the raised bed out of wood, you can see. I put it together and I gathered up old logs, sticks, and things like that, and filled the bottom half with that. So I used logs, sticks, and things like that, twigs and everything, different sizes, and threw in the bottom of these raised beds, I'll at least through here, about halfway. And then I took and I got some good rich topsoil and filled it up the rest of the way. And I've been adding compost to this every year. As you can see, it started a video. I put straw on top of these beds during the winter, and then that will rot also during the winter time, and will make into really good dirt to grow in. But as you can also see, it settles down over time. So you'll have the wood that I put in here will rot and self-compost. And as that rots and self-composes, then you'll see this dirt level here, the soil level, fall. So you have to keep adding to that. So this year I will add some more compost mixed with topsoil in this raised bed to bring this on up to pretty much level. And that's the way it is all through all these raised beds here, is I filled it about halfway up with sticks. Some were like this, some were smaller, many were about like this, and just threw those in there, stacked those in there, and then put that topsoil over top of that, and it went down in all the cracks and things. But like I said, as it rots, then you'll see your soil levels drop in the raised beds. You can see here I'm about 6 inches low now in these raised beds, so I will add more topsoil and compost to this before I plant. And I have 6 raised beds through here, and over there I have 3 other raised beds. So I have a pretty good little gardening area here. Because these raised beds have another garden area down the hill beside the chicken coop that's actually in the ground, but I reserved that for things like planting corn and things, because I can plant that corn and don't have to bend down to harvest that, because the corn is right up here, up chest high usually, when you're getting those ears of corn off. But anyway, this has worked pretty good. I've used these raised beds now for about 3 years, and you can see they haven't rotted or anything. Still in good condition. Probably have about another 5 or 6 years out of these before I have to replace this wood. So overall, it's been a pretty good investment. And ta-da! Here it is. My hoops magically appeared. Anyway, these are made out of 1/2 inch PVC pipe, and the clamps over there, they're U-brackets with screws put in each side. So I can put these in and take these out as needed. And I'll put these in, you know, in the spring, and I will use these to be able to put a tarpaulin or plastic over top of these plants when I have these planted to keep, you know, from frostbite and things killing my plants. Sometimes you will plant and it has a cold snap and frost comes, and if you don't cover your plants up, then they will definitely die, depending on, you know, the plant and things. Tomato plants and stuff like that, they go really easily when it frosts. So these hoops, have these set up, or I put them in each one of these, you can cover your plants up easily and protect those from frost and those cold snaps. You can put plastic over this and make it into, you know, a mini greenhouse. Right here you have a 4 foot by 8 foot greenhouse. That didn't really cost anything, just the price of this PVC tubing and these clamps. So $30 altogether for a 4 by 8 foot greenhouse, and it works great. And I think this should be part of every raised bed, in my opinion, because it definitely gives some versatility when it comes to protecting your crops. And you can actually start your growing season a little bit earlier if you want. If you live in a northern climate where you have shorter growing season, it's a good idea to do that and start them early. You can also leave them out a little bit longer usually and get a little longer growing season by having these hoops and having a mini greenhouse on top of your raised beds. You can make these taller if you want. I've had these several years, so I can't remember how long these are actually. They might be 6 foot. 6 or 8 foot anyway these are. I will measure one and leave it down in the description below to let you know how big these are. But you can make them any size you want, within reason, of course, to have, you know, taller hoops for a taller greenhouse. I like this size here because it keeps it down low, and I think it offers more protection for your garden. But anyway, hopefully this helps you plan your raised beds and to fill your raised beds cheaply and to grow, you know, some of your own produce. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'm the Creekmore Matt here, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.